Welcome to this explainer. Okay, I am just incredibly excited to have you here today because we are about to embark on a journey that will fundamentally shift how you interact with children. Whether you're an educator, a parent, or really just someone fascinated by how the human mind develops, we are going way beyond the basics today. We're going to unpack a deeply transformative framework that will literally change the way you hear, see, and understand the learners in your life.
So, I want to hook you right out of the gate with a challenge. Just reflect on your own habits for a second. When you ask a child a question, what is actually going on in your head? Are you genuinely listening to their thought process, or are you, secretly just waiting for them to spit out the exact correct answer you already have queued up in your mind? Look, it's completely okay to admit it. Most of us fall into that second category without even realizing it.
And that beautifully sets up our core contrast for today. On one side, we have traditional listening. It's a highly transactional approach, right? I ask, you answer, I check if it's right. Boom, done. But contrast that with pedagogical listening. This is about discovering how learners make meaning. It's about exploring possibilities, not just confirming facts like a human calculator. This is a massive move away from transactional teaching. And honestly, acknowledging this difference is the very first step in revealing our own blind spots as adults. So, to get us there, here is our roadmap for this explainer. 1. Redefining how we listen. 2. Origins of the practice. 3. Actionable classroom strategies. 4. The art of documentation. And 5. Ethics and next steps.
All right, let's jump straight into section 1, redefining how we listen.
Okay, let's break down this definition, because it's a lot, but it is so good. Pedagogical listening is not just basic active listening. It is an ethical, relational, and interpretive practice. Notice the really wide net it casts here? We are treating words, yes, absolutely, but also gestures, drawings, and even silences as meaningful evidence of a child's thinking. And the absolute most critical part of this whole definition is tucked right there at the very end, temporarily suspending certainty. You have got to resist that overwhelming adult urge to finish a child's thought for them. You have to remain totally open to multiple interpretations of what they're trying to communicate.
Moving right along to section 2, origins of the practice.
What's absolutely fascinating is that pedagogical listening wasn't just invented by one single person sitting alone in a room somewhere. It was developed collectively, right after the Second World War, in the municipal infant-toddler centers and preschools of Reggio Emilia, Italy. Loris Malaguzzi famously established the underlying philosophy, describing children as immensely capable and communicating through 100 languages, meaning they express themselves through movement, drawing, play, and sound, not just speech. Decades later, Carlo Rinaldi articulated the clearest theoretical formulation of this, bringing the actual phrase pedagogy of listening to the international stage through her lectures and her 2006 publication. So Malaguzzi built the philosophical foundation, and Rinaldi gave us this incredibly distinct lens of listening.
Now for the really practical stuff. Section 3, actionable classroom strategies.
First and foremost, you must slow the interaction down. Seriously, when you ask a question, allow some wait time. Silence is not a problem that needs to be fixed. It's usually a sign that a child is deep in thought or just deciding how to respond. You also need to observe way more than just speech. Pay close attention to a child's gaze, how they manipulate materials, or even their hesitation. The crucial point here is that you are listening for their underlying theories. What specific problem are they trying to solve? And then you return those ideas to the group. Imagine saying something like, Maria thinks the shadow became longer because the light moved. What do the rest of you notice? That brilliantly makes one student's thinking available for collective investigation. From there, you plan responsibly based on what you actually heard, you revisit those learning traces later, and you actively share the interpretive authority with the students themselves.
To actually pull this off, the questions we ask have to change. We need to move far away from those accusatory why questions and toward open, exploratory prompts. A simple, what makes you think that, invites a child to outline their reasoning without feeling like they are being tested or worse, judged.
Let's look at another one. What were you trying to make happen? Wow, this specific question brilliantly helps uncover the child's underlying theory or assumption. It doesn't lead them to a predetermined conclusion. Instead, it fully values their intention, allowing you to see the logic behind an action that to us adults might otherwise just look like random play or even a mistake.
And see how this builds. When you look back at this photo or drawing, what do you remember thinking? Honestly, this question is pure magic. It invites children to revisit their own past thinking and actively share that interpretive authority with you. You aren't just standing there telling them what they learned, they are telling you what the experience meant to them.
Okay, let's look at how we capture this. Section 4, the art of documentation.
In the Reggio tradition, documentation is a real, rigorous tool for dialogue and curriculum design. It's not just a cute scrapbook for the parents. Here's the step-by-step process. First, capture. Grab brief notes, exact quotes, or photos in the moment. Second, select. Please don't hoard everything. Just choose a small number of truly meaningful episodes that reveal a shift in thinking or a brand new theory. Third, interpret. And this brilliantly illustrates a key distinction. You absolutely must separate objective description from subjective interpretation. For example, your description might be, Liam placed 3 blocks under the ramp, removed one, and said, now it will go slower. That is objective fact. Your interpretation is, Liam may be testing a relationship between the height of the ramp and the speed of the object. Keeping those two things separate prevents your adult assumption from being mistaken for absolute fact. Fourth, discuss that evidence with colleagues and students. And finally, respond. Use that interpretation to plan the very next pedagogical step.
To make this incredibly actionable for you, here is a practical template you can literally start implementing today. Look at how it structurally forces you to separate the exact words and actions from your teacher interpretation. Plus, it pushes you to write down an alternative interpretation as well as the student's perspective. It's just a simple table, sure, but consistently filling this out ensures you are genuinely practicing pedagogical listening rather than just hastily jumping to conclusions.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, Ethics and Next Steps. At the end of the day, pedagogical listening is a massive ethical responsibility meant to empower children. You have to ensure you aren't just documenting the loudest, most verbally confident kids in the room. You really have to look for the quiet theorists, too. You must never present your one single interpretation as the final, absolute truth about a child's capabilities. Give them the chance to correct or even totally reject your interpretation. And above all else, documentation is a tool to deepen learning. It should absolutely never be used to surveil, label, or rank children.
If you take away only one thing from this entire explainer, let it be the core ethos summarized in this quote. The teacher temporarily suspends certainty, resists finishing the child's thought, and remains open to more than one interpretation. That requires immense discipline on our part, but suspending our own adult certainty is without a doubt the greatest gift we can give to a developing mind. It validates them as capable, incredible creators of meaning.
I want to leave you with a provocative thought that I really hope challenges your interactions going forward. Look around your environment tomorrow and ask yourself, whose voices are you truly hearing? And whose might you be completely overlooking because they are speaking in one of the other 99 languages? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating paradigm shift with me today. Go out there, slow down, and really start listening.